Hey, folks, it's Dave here, and I want to respond to a comment or a question that was left by one of the channel members. And so I want to, give them the top priority here. And instead of just typing out an answer, I thought I'd do a quick video on it and answer the question. Now, I believe what this person was asking was he thought it'd be really great if we could get a bunch of us YouTubers here on the channel, like Hollywood Square style, and pick a game and each of us can talk a little bit about that game for a minute. And I think that's what he was asking about. And while I think that would be a lot of fun, the reality of it is to try to get a bunch of people that can agree on a time to do something like this would be nearly impossible. It's tough just getting a couple of people on, just with work schedules and lives and families. It probably wouldn't work, to get that many people on at once. And secondly, is we like to limit people on the show here, at least with me and Ron, to one or two. So it'd be Ron, myself, and one to two people. It's a better flow. Everyone gets a chance to talk, and you're not talking over each other. And if you were to have, 8, 9, or 10 people on, there'd be, 7 or 8 people standing there not talking at all, and it would get quite boring and awkward. And so that's why, like Zoom meetings, like I say, if you've seen Zoom meetings, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't because there's too many people, stepping up doing all the talking. And so I don't think that's going to happen just because of the logistics of the whole thing and how it can become kind of quirky with that many people. So what I will do is I would just give you my thoughts on some of the things that you were asking, okay? And what it is, he would like to find out about the accuracy of the game in question, the realism and the flow of play, and that's what he was asking about, with the different games. And that's the other thing too is, he was asking about football, baseball, hockey, basketball, the four major sports, and there's so many of those games. So if we had people, a lot of people on, which game would we talk about? That's the other thing. There's just so many games. So I would suggest is that, all I can do is offer my opinion and some of the other channels that he was talking about. I'm pretty sure if you went to their channel, they would be talking about the game that you would be interested in. So just search the game on that guy's channel, and that should bring up their opinion on it is probably the best way to go. And I know it kind of stinks bouncing around all the different channels, but that's probably the best way to get opinions on games is to see what other people think about it. And that's why I encourage people is to do a video on a game. Do an unboxing, a playing in the game. What are your thoughts on the game? Revisit the game, and that's the best way to get opinions on games and to see what you think and see gameplay and the whole bit. So I will get to the three that he asked about. So he asked about accurate statistically is one of his most important things. For me, number one is fun. Okay. Now, I want the game to be statistically accurate. I want to at least be in the ballpark. But for me, it's fun, number one. Because if the game's not fun, but I nail it right down to the thing with the stats, it's not fun. I can just, like I say, go to YouTube and watch the game, or I can go look up the box score online if I want to do that. So for me, a game has to be fun. And there's a couple games I play, and you probably know which ones they are, that I'm not getting crazy accurate results, but the game is still so fun that I will play that game, even though some of the results are questionable. Okay. But the game is still so much fun. So it's for me, it's fun over statistical accuracy. That being said, some people's variability on accuracy is this big, and other people's are this big. Mine is about this big. So when I'm playing a game and I get my results, my in the ballpark, pardon the pun, is pretty wide. I have a pretty wide area here that wherever the game. So if this is the how the actual game turned out, I'm okay with it here, and I'm okay with it here. Some people will only be okay with it here and here. So again, that accuracy is a little tighter to what really happened in real life. Myself, I'm okay with accuracy being in a wider area, as long as it's fun. If it's not fun, I don't want to play it, first off. If it's marginally fun, but I'm getting good results, then I got to figure out where I want to split the difference. So for me, fun first, and my statistical accuracy window, I guess you call it, is pretty large. Okay. Again, my Strat 1986 Red Sox replay with Roger Clemens. I played the Clemens games. I let the computer send the rest, and I finished 22 games out of first place with a team that went to the World Series. Does that mean Strat's awful? No, it doesn't. Does it mean Strat's engine is broken? No, it doesn't. It just means that was my result. And I lived with it, and I wasn't happy with it, but I lived with it and, and moved on. And I didn't stop playing Strat because of it, even though that's outside my window. That is way outside my window. 22 games out of first place with that replay. Yeah, that's I'm going to call that the anomaly. Anomaly. That's a weird one. Number 2, he says, feels real to play and immersive in that you feel connected to the game like you're in it. Okay, that's the big one for me, is I like to feel as though I'm in a game or I just watch the game. So I guess at the top of that list right now for me is Apple Football, as you know from the channel. I mean, I play that game, can't stop playing it. I play it online, I play it offline, and I feel like I'm in a game. I feel the quarterback getting hot. I feel the quarterback getting cold. I see the fumble that cost the team the game or that gave the team a chance to get back in. I see the big pass over the middle where the guy goes for a touchdown. I see the heartbreak at the end of a game when something happens, a field goal made, a field goal missed. So for me, if I'm going to pick a game of all the games I played, at least so far, I think Apple Football, for me anyway, is the most realistic game as far as feeling I'm watching a game or participating in a game. Doesn't mean that any other game is bad. I'm just saying, for me, if I had to pick one, at least right now, Apple Football is the one for me. And number 3 says, the other thing was flow of play was another one, he says. And yes, you need to have flow of play. If the game doesn't flow, then it's not fun. So flow goes with fun. It really does. It's the F factor, fun and flow. They go 1 and 1A. I guess if the game doesn't flow, then it's not fun for me. So that it's all inclusive with the fun. That's part of the flow thing. If you're fighting a game, constantly fighting a game, and you got to keep looking it up, or you're confused about something, or something's just not working for you, then it's not going to be fun. So flow is a huge part of the fun. Flow is the F in fun, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, flow to play is important. And the other thing he talked about was complete player rosters with all the players, or at least as close as possible to who played in a given season. That is very important to me, but it's not a deal breaker. Meaning that if there are some games that card every player that played in a season within reason. Someone that pinch hit in one game or pinch ran in one game, maybe they don't get in. But I mean, anybody else that had any kind of stats, even 3 or 4 games, they're carded in the game. Whether it's hockey, baseball, football, basketball, whatever it is, they're in the game. Mostly for me, it's baseball. But with hockey, APA does not card everyone. It's a bummer. But that's the reason I play Hockey Bone. So if I want to play a game with someone who just got one game, like I've been playing some of the goalies, or maybe a defenseman or a forward only played a couple of games, but I have to play that guy, then for me it's Hockey Bones. APA, to me, I think flows and has the fun factor in it, and I've kind of really made that game my own. And so for me, I enjoy the APA, but they don't have all the cards. So having everybody that played is important to me, but it's not a deal breaker. Although I will gravitate, especially with my baseball games, I will gravitate towards the games that will allow me to play as played rosters. And sometimes you get into a game and can't find the guy. He's just not carded. He only played a handful of games. He's not there. I'll work around it. It doesn't mean I don't like the game. We'll stop playing it. But if I have the choice between the two, I will go with the game that cards everyone. So hopefully that answered a couple of the questions that you had. Yeah, but I think the big panel thing you were talking about, as great as it sounds, I just don't think it's a realistic possibility. I mean, we did something like that on New Year's Eve where we had people bouncing in and out all night, and that was really fun. But again, once you have more than a couple of people on the stage here, uh, some people aren't going to be talking for long stretches of time, and it's just kind of a waste of their time. Um, it's just kind of how I feel, and so I feel like the 3 or 4 people here is ideal. So, but anyway, I just wanted to give you my thoughts. I wanted to thank you for your comments and your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them the best I can here. So I'm Dave, and hopefully I'm going to have a new game to look at tonight. This is May 17th, 2024. So maybe later on tonight I'll have a new game, and we'll see. I got to go check my email. Hey, thanks, guys. Bye bye.